Losing a spouse is one of life's most profound challenges, a heartbreak that feels as though the ground has been pulled out from beneath your feet, leaving you adrift in a sea of emptiness and grief. It's a loss that shakes the foundation of your world, leaving behind an aching void where love and companionship once thrived. The weight of this absence can feel unbearable, as if the sun has set on life as you knew it. Yet, even in the depths of this sorrow, there is hope. While nothing can fully prepare you for the pain of losing someone so dear, there are paths to rediscover joy, purpose, and fulfillment. These 5 secrets are not quick fixes or magic solutions. They are gentle, practical reminders that healing is possible. Life can still hold meaning, beauty, and connection even after such a profound loss. But before we dive into these secrets, let us welcome you to the Elder's Compass, a place created with you in mind. If you're seeking a community that truly understands and supports life's later years, you found it. Here we share practical wisdom, encouragement, and helpful tips tailored just for you. Whether you're navigating grief, rediscovering yourself, or simply looking for a source of strength and inspiration, we're here for you. If you're ready to face this chapter of life with resilience and grace, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Let the Elder's Compass be your steady guide on this journey. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of support and understanding. We're so glad to have you with us. Now, let's begin this journey together. Healing is not about moving on, but moving forward with love, honoring the memories you've shared while embracing the life still ahead of you. Let these 5 secrets illuminate your path and remind you that even in the face of loss, the human spirit is capable of remarkable resilience and renewal. Grief is one of the most natural responses to losing someone you love deeply. It's a testament to the bond you shared and the love that continues to exist, even after they are gone. But as heavy and all-encompassing as grief can feel, it's crucial to remember that grief is not a permanent destination. It's a journey that winds through pain, memories, and moments of despair, but also, if you allow it, toward hope, healing, and eventually peace. When you lose someone who has been your partner, your confidant, and your constant, the world feels impossibly quiet. The ache can be overwhelming, like a tidal wave crashing against the fragile shores of your heart. Yet healing begins not by avoiding this pain, but by giving yourself permission to feel it fully. Grieving is an act of love. It honors what was, while slowly making room for what still can be. Consider the story of Misley, a 67-year-old widow who experienced this kind of deep, consuming sorrow after the loss of her husband. "I couldn't sleep in our bed without crying," she shared, her voice trembling with emotion. "Everywhere I looked, there was a reminder of him, his favorite chair, the way he smiled in photos. It felt like I was drowning in memories, unable to catch my breath." For months, Misley felt stuck in this place of despair. Nights were the hardest, she recalled, lying awake in the wide, empty bed they once shared, with nothing but silence to keep her company. "I didn't think I could go on without him," she admitted. But one day, sitting alone in the park, watching the sunlight filter through the trees, she had a realization. He wouldn't want me to live this way. He'd want me to find joy again, to live fully in the life we built together. That moment was the turning point for Misley. Slowly, she began to focus on the present, creating small daily routines to anchor her in the here and now. She started by taking morning walks in the park, allowing nature to soothe her troubled heart. She reached out to an old friend for coffee, hesitant at first, but grateful for the connection it brought. Over time, the sharp edges of her sadness began to soften, replaced by small moments of peace. They were not grand, but they were enough to remind her that life, though different, could still be beautiful. Misley's journey teaches us an important lesson. It's okay to grieve, but it's just as important to care for yourself while doing so. You cannot rush healing. It unfolds in its own time, but you can nurture it gently through acts of kindness toward yourself. Take a walk and let the rhythm of your steps ground you. Listen to music that lifts your spirit, even if only for a few minutes. Write your thoughts in a journal, giving voice to emotions too heavy to carry silently. These small acts of self-care may seem insignificant, but they are the building blocks of a brighter tomorrow. They remind you that even in the midst of sorrow, you are still alive, still capable of feeling, of loving, and of finding joy. Your loved one's absence will always be a part of you, but so will the strength you find in carrying forward their memory, not as a weight that holds you back, but as a light that guides you forward. When you lose your spouse, it can feel as though your sense of direction has vanished, leaving you drifting in an unfamiliar sea of uncertainty. Your partner was often your compass, the steady presence guiding your life. Without them, the world feels unmoored, and it's natural to wonder how to move forward. Yet this moment of disorientation is also a powerful opportunity, an invitation to reconnect with yourself, rediscover your passions, and find new sources of joy and meaning. Take the story of Mrs. Howe as an example. In her 60s, after her husband's passing, she moved in with her daughter's family, hoping it would fill the void left by her loss. "I thought being surrounded by loved ones would ease the loneliness," she said. At first, it seemed like the right decision. Her grandson brought her laughter, and her daughter offered comfort. But over time, tensions began to rise. Differences in lifestyle, parenting philosophies, and household expectations strained their relationship. "I felt like a guest in my own child's home," Mrs. Howe admitted. "And over time, I realized I needed to find my own way." Eventually, she made the brave decision to live alone again. It wasn't easy at first. The silence of her home was stark, and the loneliness felt heavier than ever. But instead of retreating into sadness, Mrs. Howe began to look outward. She revisited her love for painting, a hobby she had set aside for decades, and enrolled in a local art class. There, she found a supportive community of like-minded individuals who shared her passion. She even made new friends, people who understood and appreciated her journey. "It felt like I was coming alive again," she said, a smile returning to her face. Mrs. Howe's story is a testament to the power of rediscovery and independence. Thriving after loss doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means embracing life on your terms. What have you always wanted to try but never had the time for? Perhaps it's gardening, writing poetry, learning to play an instrument, or exploring photography. These passions are more than hobbies. They are lifelines, reminders that you are capable of creating beauty and joy, even in the face of loss. Community can also play a vital role. Look for local groups that align with your interests, whether it's a book club, fitness class, or volunteer organization. Giving your time to others not only fills your days with purpose, but also connects you to people who can enrich your life in unexpected ways. Independence after loss doesn't mean walking your journey alone. It means discovering the strength within yourself to carve a path that feels meaningful. As you do, you'll find that life, though forever changed, still holds countless possibilities for growth, connection, and happiness. Let this be a chapter where you honor your past by fully embracing your present and future. Grief, by its very nature, can feel profoundly isolating. The silence that follows the loss of a spouse can be deafening, and the weight of loneliness can feel impossible to bear. But here's an essential truth. You don't have to face this journey alone. Building a strong support network can be a lifeline, providing comfort, understanding, and connection when you need it most. When you lose your spouse, it's easy to retreat inward, believing no one could possibly understand the depth of your pain. But sharing your feelings, even when it's difficult, is a vital part of healing. Talking to others who have walked a similar path can ease the burden of loneliness and remind you that you are not alone. Their stories, their empathy, and even their presence can help lighten your heart in ways you might not expect. If you're unsure where to begin, start by seeking out local grief counseling groups or community organizations. These groups are often filled with people who are also navigating loss, and they provide a safe space to share your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Faith-based communities can also be a source of comfort, offering spiritual guidance and connection to a network of caring individuals. Activity clubs, such as fitness groups, art classes, or gardening clubs, can introduce you to others who share your interests while giving you a sense of purpose and routine. Take the first step, even if it feels small. Perhaps it's attending a local meeting, joining a book club, or even reaching out to a neighbor for a casual chat. The act of stepping out, however daunting, opens the door to connection. Over time, these small efforts can lead to lasting friendships and a renewed sense of belonging. And don't underestimate the power of leaning on friends and family. Sometimes a simple, heartfelt conversation over coffee can be incredibly healing. It's okay to tell your loved ones what you need, whether it's a listening ear, a walk in the park, or a shared meal. Asking for support is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of courage and self-care. Remember, your grief is unique, but you don't have to carry it in solitude. By building a network of people who care about you, you create a cushion of strength and love to support you through life's most challenging moments. In their presence, you'll find not only comfort, but also the reassurance that even in your hardest times, you are held, valued, and never truly alone. For many, the prospect of being alone is daunting. After losing a spouse, solitude can feel like an overwhelming emptiness, a sharp reminder of what has been lost. The once shared spaces of your home may seem too quiet, the rhythms of daily life disrupted, leaving you uncertain about how to move forward. But solitude, when approached with intention and care, can become something entirely different, a place of profound growth, healing, and even peace. Embracing solitude doesn't mean resigning yourself to loneliness. Instead, it's about learning to cherish your own company and discovering that quiet moments can be opportunities for reflection, creativity, and renewal. Solitude allows you to reconnect with the parts of yourself that may have been overshadowed by the shared responsibilities and rhythms of married life. It's a time to rediscover who you are, independent of your roles as a partner, caregiver, or spouse. Take Mrs. Fong's story, for example. After her second marriage ended, she found herself living alone again and struggling to adjust. At first, the silence felt suffocating. The nights were the hardest, she admitted. I'd sit in my house, listening to the clock tick, and wonder how I could go on like this. But over time, she began to see her solitude not as an absence, but as an opportunity. I started taking walks every evening, enjoying the sunset and the stillness of the world around me, she said. It wasn't loneliness, it was freedom. Mrs. Fong didn't stop there. She began filling her days with meaningful activities that brought her joy and a sense of purpose. She rediscovered her love for poetry, writing verses that captured her emotions and memories. She joined a local painting class, using color and texture to express herself in ways words could not. Each new activity became a thread in the tapestry of her healing, weaving beauty and fulfillment into her solitary life. Her story serves as a reminder that solitude is not an empty void, but a blank canvas, ready to be painted with the hues of your choosing. You might start small with simple acts that nurture your spirit. Read books that inspire and uplift you, stories that transport you to different worlds, or remind you of the resilience of the human spirit. Try meditation or yoga, practices that center your mind and body, grounding you in the present moment. Or, if the memories feel too heavy to speak aloud, write letters to your late spouse. Pour your thoughts, your love, and even your pain onto the page, transforming them into a tribute to the life you shared. These acts of self-care are not just distractions. They are ways to honor the love you carry while building a new relationship with yourself. In solitude, you have the freedom to reflect, to dream, and to create. It's a time to listen to your inner voice, to acknowledge your feelings without judgment, and to give yourself permission to simply be. There will still be moments when the silence feels too loud, and that's okay. Solitude, like grief, is a journey, one that unfolds in its own time. But as you learn to find comfort in your own presence, you may discover that what once felt like loneliness now feels like freedom. A freedom to explore, to grow, and to live fully, even in the absence of the one you loved. Solitude, when embraced thoughtfully, becomes a companion. It teaches you that, while you may be physically alone, you are never truly without connection to the memories of your spouse, to the world around you, and most importantly, to yourself. This journey of solitude can transform your later years into a time of introspection, creativity, and quiet joy, a gift you give yourself in the process of healing. After the loss of a spouse, it's natural to feel as though your best years are behind you. The thought of a vibrant, fulfilling future may seem distant or even impossible. But life, even in its most unexpected moments, holds the potential for renewal and joy. Opening your heart to new possibilities isn't about forgetting the love you've lost. It's about honoring it by living fully, embracing the richness that life still offers. When someone we deeply love departs, they leave behind not just memories, but also the gift of their love and the life you shared. To live fully after loss is not to diminish their memory, but to keep it alive by continuing to grow, to experience and to find meaning in the time you still have. For some, this means seeking companionship again. Finding someone who understands your journey and shares your values can bring comfort and joy in unexpected ways. Companionship doesn't have to mean replacing the love you lost. No one can fill that exact space. Instead, it's about sharing the next chapter of your life with someone who brings light to your days. Others, however, choose to focus on personal growth rather than a new relationship, and that path is equally valid. The decision is deeply personal and entirely yours to make. Exploring life's possibilities might look different for everyone. Maybe there's a trip you and your spouse always talked about taking but never did. Now could be the time to fulfill that dream, carrying their memory with you as you experience new places and cultures. Or perhaps you've always wanted to try a new hobby: gardening, cooking, painting, or even skydiving. Each new experience, big or small, reignites your sense of wonder and reminds you that life is still filled with opportunities for adventure. Consider joining a local book club or community class to connect with others who share your interests. Learning a new skill, such as playing an instrument or mastering a foreign language, can give you a sense of purpose and accomplishment. These activities aren't just about keeping busy. They're about discovering new passions, meeting new people, and embracing the simple joys of being alive. It's also important to remember that it's okay to cherish the love you shared with your spouse without seeking another relationship. Some people find fulfillment in their independence, choosing to focus on their personal journey rather than romantic companionship. This path is no less meaningful and can be deeply rewarding as you explore who you are now and the life you wish to create. Opening your heart to life's possibilities doesn't mean denying your grief. It means carrying it with you as part of your story, while giving yourself permission to hope, to dream, and to build something beautiful in the wake of loss. There is no right or wrong way to move forward, only the way that feels true to you. As you take steps toward these new possibilities, be patient with yourself. Healing and growth take time, and there will be moments when it feels easier to hold back. But remember, every small step forward is a victory. Each new experience, connection, and adventure is a way of honoring both your loved one and the life they would want you to live. Life after loss is a journey of transformation. It's not about leaving the past behind, but weaving it into the fabric of your present and future. Open your heart to what lies ahead, and you may find that while the road is different than you imagined, it's still filled with beauty, connection, and countless opportunities to grow. This is your time to rediscover the world, yourself, and the limitless potential of a life well lived. Losing your spouse is undeniably life-changing, and the path forward can feel uncertain and overwhelming. But it's important to remember that while this loss will always be a part of your story, it doesn't have to define the rest of your journey. By embracing your grief, reclaiming your independence, building a supportive community, finding comfort in solitude, and opening your heart to new possibilities, you can rediscover joy, purpose, and fulfillment in ways that honor both your past and your future. Take your time. Healing is not a race, and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Be kind to yourself through this process, and trust that every small step forward is a testament to your strength and resilience. With each moment of growth and self-discovery, you honor the love you shared with your spouse and the life you're continuing to build. Now I'd love to hear from you. If you've experienced loss, what has helped you heal and find joy again? Your story could be the spark of hope and encouragement someone else needs to move forward. Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's create a community of support, understanding, and inspiration. Together, we can remind each other that none of us are alone on this journey. That wraps up our video for today. If this message resonated with you or could help someone you care about, we invite you to like and share it. Let's spread hope and encouragement to those who might need it most. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the Elders Compass. By joining our community, you're not only staying connected to valuable insights and advice, you're helping us build a space that celebrates aging with grace, resilience, and strength. Let us be your trusted guide as we navigate this chapter of life together. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, life is still beautiful, and every day holds the potential for growth, joy, and connection. See you next time.